The ethical, legal, and security issues related to sensitive data in precision medicine are among the most critical topics for the future of personalized medicine. Precision medicine has the potential to offer personalized treatments and uniquely tailored disease risk predictions for each patient. To achieve this, it requires robust and extensive sharing of clinical and genomic data, which is essential for improving diagnosis, treatment, and research. This is highly sensitive information, and sharing it raises ethical, legal, and security concerns. Our challenge is to balance a collective good, the advancement of medical science, with the fundamental rights of our patients. When we talk about genomic data privacy, it means much more than just confidentiality. Genomic data presents unique challenges. Its uniqueness lies in its permanence. The genome is like a biological barcode, and it can't be replaced. This means that a breach of genomic data is essentially a permanent loss of biological privacy. Predictiveness is about probability. The data can reveal predispositions to future diseases, like Alzheimer's, and it's crucial to understand their probabilistic nature. This is information about likelihood, not certainty. This also raises the issue of incidental findings, meaning the discovery of information the patient didn't ask for. The family implications are perhaps the most sensitive factor. The genome is actually a family heirloom, and an individual's genomic information can also affect relatives because of shared genetic traits. Here's where the dilemma arises. Whose privacy are we protecting? If clinically relevant information is discovered for the patient's blood relatives, there may be an ethical duty to share it with the family members concerned. This requires additional safeguards for all parties involved. Lastly, the risk of re-identification. Even data that has been de-identified or pseudonymized can sometimes be traced back to individuals or their families. Combining just a few pieces of data, like a date of birth, which can be found through public records, can allow for re-identification, significantly raising the legal and ethical stakes. The erosion of privacy requires both a legal and a technical response. The legal context tries to balance individual rights with public interests, resulting in regulatory conflicts. In Europe, the GDPR sets strict rules for personal and genetic data, although applying the right to be forgotten remains complex for genomic data used in research. Furthermore, the differences in data standardization from one country to another raise complex operational issues when it comes to transferring this data abroad. Globally, greater data harmonization and policy coordination are therefore necessary. If the law cannot guarantee perfect privacy, the ethical responsibility falls on technical and administrative security solutions, which must act as a shield. The risks include unauthorized access, breaches, and discrimination. The basic measures adopted include strong encryption and pseudonymization. A modern best practice is federated analysis, which allows researchers to use sensitive data through code and algorithms that are executed within the secure servers where the data resides, without having to move it from its original location. UK Biobank is a good example of federated analysis. Finally, the use of audit trails and immutable storage, such as blockchain frameworks, can improve the traceability of access. In a traditional centralized system, patient consent is recorded in a single office, the hospital server. If the office is broken into or a corrupt employee changes the data, The only copy of the consent is compromised without anyone knowing for sure. The blockchain, which is a decentralized distributed ledger, is like a room full of hundreds of independent notaries, the computers on the network. Every time the patient gives their consent, the information is shouted out in the room, and all the notaries immediately write it down in their ledger, the block, and they link it to the previous ledger entry. So, a blockchain-type ledger is a distributed system, meaning that every notary has an identical copy of the ledger distributed throughout the room, and decentralized, meaning that no single notary has the power to modify the other's ledgers. If a notary tried to cheat and change an entry in their ledger, the other notaries would compare their encrypted copies and immediately reject the falsified version. This way, blockchain ensures that the record of access or consent to genomic data is immutable and universally verifiable. The traditional model of one-time informed consent for each specific study is too rigid for the dynamic nature of precision medicine research. For this reason, informed consent has evolved. Expressed and specific consent remains a fundamental requirement. The patient must clearly understand why, how, and with whom their data will be shared, always retaining the right to withdraw consent. Then we have broad consent, where the patient agrees to the use of their data in a wide range of future studies, often not yet defined. This greatly facilitates discovery, but it risks seeming like a blank check. Finally, we have dynamic consent, the most advanced form, often enabled by technology. Here, the patient is continuously involved and, through a digital platform, can be recontacted for new studies, receive updates, and change their preferences over time, for example, choosing to withdraw from specific types of research. The single most significant and fundamental transformation is the shift away from a mere transaction, that is, the simple act of providing one-time digital consent, toward a continuous, long-term, evolving relationship of trust. The entities that hold the data, hospitals, universities, are not just simple holders, but rather managers or stewards with a fiduciary duty to act in the best interest of the data donors. This implies three fundamental principles: transparency, meaning clarity about how the data is used and the associated risks; engagement, meaning the responsibility to inform all stakeholders; and finally, fairness and value return, which means ensuring that the benefits of research translate into equitable health benefits for society, with a concrete commitment to avoid exacerbating health disparities and to ensure the inclusion of underrepresented groups. In conclusion, today the challenge is not to stop sharing data, but to share it responsibly and transparently. The success of precision medicine is directly tied to the development of robust frameworks for consent, protection, transparency, fairness, and collaboration. Upholding ethical and legal standards in the sharing of clinical and genomic data is essential, not only to protect patients, but also for the advancement of precision medicine itself. This requires a multidisciplinary approach that combines advanced safeguarding techniques, clear legal frameworks, and ongoing ethical reflection in order to maximize the benefits of precision medicine while also protecting patient trust and privacy.